Welcome to the first Blue Forge Group monthly open mic. My name is Maxwell DeMarco. I'm an artisan working with 3 of Blue Forge's 4 divisions and a full-time in-house volunteer. Blue Forge is an entirely volunteer-run 501c3 nonprofit founded in 1989 to educate and empower artisans often marginalized by the mainstream. Our artisans couldn't be more different. They might not always get along on social media, but when they gather under the Blue Forge banner, the art always comes first. Tonight, 2 authors from Blue Forge Press, an actor from Blue Forge Films, and a screenwriter from Blue Forge Films will step into the spotlight of the Black Box Studio here on the Blue Forge campus, earning the first open mic badge created by illustrator and actor Faith DeMarco. And now, without further ado,
Hi, my name is Jennifer DeMarco, and I have worked with Blue Forge Group since 1989. I work with all 4 Blue Forge Group divisions: Blue Forge Films, Blue Forge Press, Blue Forge Sound, and Blue Forge Gaming. Today, I really wanted to share my most recent film trailer with you guys. I call it my trailer, but it's not just mine. An incredible team of actors brought their talents to the project. Amber Rainey, Aidan Kennedy, Lauren Patzer, Cyan Smith, Talia McCoy Redmond, and Faith and Maxwell DeMarco. All of them were so passionate, and I was so appreciative to work with them. I was only the scriptwriter, director, production designer, editor, and lyricist, only. But I've done more than 100 ultra short films with Blue Forge Films and just over a dozen feature films with Blue Forge Films. But right now, I believe this one is my favorite. So today I'd like to share with you guys the trailer for my short film, Good Bones.
Sitting in the sun above the bay, you're so close but so far away. Oh, it's been a while since I've seen you smile. How nice it would be if you were here with me right now. In this moment, and you could read me your newest pages, and I could find all those traces between the lines and behind the words that you share in the sun. In the sun, in the sun. Sitting beneath the apple trees, the scent of roses on the breeze, clouds above us, grass below. The truth is, you reap what you sow, so give me your hand. Don't let go. Or will you read me your newest pages and let me find all those traces between the lines and behind the words that you share in the sun? In the sun, in the sun.
Yeah, I am Kimberly Westmore. I am an actor at Blue Forge Films. And this is 27 years. I was born in Washington. I'm 27 years old. I am a transgender woman. Those sentences alone once felt like a confession. Now they feel like fact. I was an obnoxious kid, kinda got in trouble a lot. Kind teachers watched closely. School never quite fit. I moved through classrooms, homeschool packets, new hallways, new rules. Carrying anger I didn't have words for yet. I didn't think I'd graduate, but I did. In my last year of high school, I played a woman on stage. Dress, wig, lights, everyone clapped. Years later I realized, yeah, that tracks. College felt like freedom at first. Drama class, radio station. First roles in films made here, right here in Washington. Wanted to be a filmmaker. Wanted to be someone. Then came a relationship that took more than it gave. After it ended, everything else started falling apart. Focus, motivation, money. I switched schools. I stopped caring. I started numbing. Weed, alcohol, cigarettes. Later, more. I showed up to class high. Zoom classes during the pandemic definitely didn't help. Neither did grief. I lost friends. I failed classes. I dropped out. I watched movies like they were lifelines, memorizing directors' names, waiting for something to happen, instead of becoming the change I wanted to see. In 2023, I took mushrooms. I finally found my truth. I'm a woman. Coming out didn't fix everything, but it cracked something open. In 2024, I got sober. Again, I know it's a process. Found community in strange places, fighting game group, a bar that doesn't even exist anymore. Then I fell in love again, and I fell back into old habits. Harder ones. When it ended, I sobered up again. Some addictions stayed, some people didn't. I still worry about the ones who are hurting. I still care. That hasn't gone away. But here's what did happen. I reconnected with family. Started writing a book. It's not filmmaking, but it's a beginning. I found my people again. Old friends, new purpose. Something I actually want to wake up for. After 27 years of searching, of fucking up, of being written off, I'm still here. So to those who said I'd never learn, those who only remember who I used to be, you're wrong. You don't know me. I've changed. I've made it this far, and I'm proud of that. No one gets to take that from me.
Hi, I'm Brie Indigo. I have volunteered for Blue Forge since 2008, and I have worked as an artisan with Blue Forge Films, Blue Forge Press, and Blue Forge Sound. With Blue Forge Films and Blue Forge Sound, I work with them under my government name, Brienne DeMarco, but with Blue Forge Press, I write under a nom de plume, which is Brie Indigo. Today I'm going to be reading from a volume of Rise, which is Women's Voices and Women's Lives, called Recreation. And this was my contribution to Rise, which is poetry and short stories. Signs of Spring. Winter weighs heavy, shadows stretch long, and the chill settles deep in my marrow. Naked branches reach toward a fleeting gunmetal sky, and even the evergreens seem to hold their breath. On the lingering dusk of winter's shadow, It seems the darkness and cold might never retreat. But in the liminal silence, a heartbeat pulses, barely perceptible at first. Buds and leaves emerge through frost and ice, roots sipping melting snow as sunlight warms the soil. A symphony of life beneath the thawing earth, the first notes hesitant, but a necessary reminder. Sure as dawn dispels night, the light will return. Finally, the cold will yield, and I'll find my smile once again. Rainfall. Water steams, collecting in beads at the cut end of the firewood, until gravity weighs too heavy, each drop falling in its own time, hissing and crackling as it meets glowing embers. I am grateful for the timber, the heat it provides, a warm embrace against the cold, damp, wet of our Pacific Northwest winter. But the Madrona was old, older than me and our house, both established in 1988. And I stopped counting the rings when I realized how many decades this sentinel stood protecting the land. Protecting the land that is not really ours. And I wished for a moment, unreasonably, we had let the tree stay and grow precariously, threatening the neighbor's property, if she decided to, fall. Did her roots drink deeply that first night you stood in the rain at our wrought iron gate? The night before the afternoon I kissed you on our porch, for better or worse, our whole lives entwined from that moment on. I reached out, fearless in that moment, somehow still the child I was, and the woman I am, pokey and wild and unafraid to be burned, and touched the droplet, the memories warm and slick on my fingertips. I think of every rainfall between that first one and the most recent, though certainly not the last, and ponder how many memories one tree can hold. A 4-foot stump remains, but the sentinel still grows, new branches reaching towards sky and sun, both a shadow of what was and a promise of what can be. Clock na Blarnen. Deep, dark, emerald green. A glance in a cafe. Is it still window shopping if I'm inside the shop? And I'm brought back 2 decades in an instant. You were so ecstatic about your new SUV, well-deserved after years of minivans and carpools, finally something just for you. Your favorite color, deep, dark emerald green, so dark it seems nearly black, metallic paint glitters in the sun, in front of your house, with the Claudia address plaque above the lake. We drive past that house every Christmas, my children enjoying the neighborhood light displays, while I remember you, the holidays and good times. Before Grandpa left you, before the day we thought you might not survive, and I visited my mother in the ER psych ward, after junior high track practice, before our family imploded, an indefinite, irreparable, shattered looking glass. I tried to create what is, and what was, holding on to the good, reframing the bad, recycle, reuse, shards of mosaic glass under my feet in the garden. The moss growing thicker each year, until one day the stepping stones disappear altogether, and only your ghosts remain.
My name is Marshall Miller. I've been with Blue Forge since 2018. I'm an author, so I work with both the Blue Forge Press Division and also the Blue Forge Film Division. Thanks to the effort of Blue Forge, I have this rather long and involved series involving an alien infestation and invasion. And I'm going to be reading from Book 0 in the Tisha series, all about aliens who decided to come down here to Earth because we taste good. It was 6:18 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Mother, Father, come look, something happened in Atlanta. What? Jack said. The private moment interrupted. Armed around each other, he and Jean walked into the living room and looked at the big screen television. The words of the newscaster began to register. This just in, the male eye candy said. Just a few minutes ago, an object smashed into downtown Atlanta, Georgia. First report is that maybe pieces of a crashing aircraft. The young man with a coiffed hair paused as someone babbled in his ear. Now officials are saying it's part piece of a space debris, maybe a meteor. The asteroid, Father, remember? James said. Yes, son. You may hit it on the head. That asteroid. What was that number? 18666. You said Uncle Mark called you about it. What? Jean asked with a confused frown on her face. Mark called, said he had some inside info about the object passing in near-Earth orbit. The newscaster interrupted his chain of thought with a rapid chatter. There's more of them. Reports are that objects, some say flaming rocks, are striking from coast to coast. The White House and FEMA have activated the National Emergency Broadcast System. The widescreen television picture flickered, then went blank. Seconds later, the EBS system appeared on the screen, followed by the irritating alert sound Jack usually heard on the radio. This is the activation of the emergency broadcast system. Television went blank again. Static, then nothing. James, get the emergency radio I gave you for Christmas. Yes, Father. James shot up the stairs to his room. Jack, what is happening? Asked Jean. That damned asteroid must have drugged some space rocks in with it. Idiot government people are too stupid to pay attention. Some some are entering our atmosphere like stones from a slingshot. What can we do? Asked Jean. I have patients at the clinic today. Not now, babe. The roads will be tied up as FEMA runs around hither and yon. Jack never had a chance to finish voicing his thought. There came an ever-increasing swooshing, crackling, hammering sound just began to turn into a rumble. Jack's eyes widened, then he grabbed Jean. Down! He pulled her to the carpet as something substantial in size whizzed over the house. Something made Jack start counting. 1001, 1002, 1003. There was a crashing boom that shook the house. Something had smashed in the puyallup. Father, I have the radio, James yelled as Janice screamed from her bedroom. James, get Janice. What the hell was that? Jane asked from underneath his protective arms. Space rock smashing us. I counted about 3 seconds, like with lightning and thunder, but that object was not traveling at the speed of light, so... Here's Janice, proclaimed James as his sister scrambled over to join her parent on the floor. James remained standing, fiddling with his radio. It began to blare the same irritating EBS tone as from the now dead television. Son, get down, please, Jean asked. Oh, okay. He plunked down on the carpet. The radio finally began to broadcast an emergency message. There have been numerous meteor strikes across the United States. The state of emergency has now been declared by the President of the United States traveling on Air Force One. He's landing in an undisclosed location due to further debris from outer space striking across the United States. People should stay in their home or shelter in place until further notice. Additional instructions from the President will be broadcast shortly. The radio broadcast began again with the same irritating sound. James, turn that off, please, said Jack. Everyone looked at him, their eyes asking, well? We still have power. The lights are still on, said Jack. James, Janice, get those bug-out bags Uncle Mark made for you. Dad, why? Asked Janice. The radio said to stay in place. Because, dear, if enough meteors hit, they may start residential fires the local fire departments will not be able to handle. Like those huge brush and forest fires in California. Whatever flew overhead hit within a mile or so, I bet. Meteorites, Father, interjected James. After they hit, they are meteorites. Thank you, Mr. Wizard, Janice said sarcastically. Okay, no bickering. Janice, Jack, do what I tell you. We have to plan for the worst. James jumped up to comply as Janice grumbled. Put some outdoor clothes on also. Jeans, jacket, decent shoes. Janice grumbled some more at her father's commands. I'll make some breakfast before the power goes out, Jean said. Good idea. The satellite TV might have been knocked out by the space debris. Get some more clothes on first. I'll grab our bug-out bags. Jack kissed Jean and went to the bedroom. The bedroom window was open, and Jack thought he smelled smoke. He grabbed the bags of emergency supplies and strode to the front door. Jack set the bags down and went out on the front porch, looked and sniffed. He walked to the street sidewalk, and from that vantage point could easily see the black plume of smoke he was smelling. It was rolling up in the sky from just over a mile away. Judging by the size of the plume, Jack thought a whole suburban block was on fire. That was not a good sign, although he heard sirens of approaching fire trucks. He turned to walk inside and thought he heard some more noise from above.
Thank you for joining us at the first Blue Forge Group monthly open mic. This video was filmed live on January 31st, 2026 and made possible by viewers just like you. Find out more about everything we do and how you can support an inclusive, nonpartisan, art-focused nonprofit at www.blueforgegroup.org.
Thank you.